needed to show up big, we haven't gotten it done. And we have to find ways as coaches to help them out. And players, when their number's called, they have to execute.
A week after finally putting it all together, Wisconsin took a step back and seemed to revert back to their old ways against Michigan State, with costly turnovers, penalties, missed tackles, and more mental mistakes. They're all things the Badgers know they can't do to be successful, but somehow still happen. And because of that, they're 3-4 and at the bottom of the Big Ten West.
I think that's the most frustrating thing for a lot of the guys. I mean, we know the talent we have. We just gotta put it together, and we haven't yet.
I think it's easy to give up right now, but just know the talent in the room and the work ethic, the personality in the locker room. I know we have a bunch of guys who are trying to get right and won't get right.
He's Jim Polzine from the Wisconsin State Journal. I'm Zach Hanley, and this is the Badger Blueprint. Jim, this team is consistently inconsistent. 7 games in, and they don't have an identity.
Yeah, we're past the halfway point of this season and still don't know what this team can hang its hat on. What is its true strength? I mean, it runs the ball well once in a while. Defense is okay once in a while, but there's no true identity and something you can count on each and every week, and that's a problem. The identity is not a very pretty one, and that's the unfortunate reality 7 games in.
The 2 goals this team set at the beginning of the season, win the Big Ten West and win a Big Ten championship, can't happen. And after their 3rd loss in 4 games and an in-season coaching change, the challenge facing the Badger captains, how to get this team to continue to fight with 5 games left.
Try to figure out a way to get to them, to want to keep pushing. There's a lot of stuff going on, like you said, but we got to figure out something as captains to keep this team together.
Not really looking at the X's and O's, not looking at the stats, just looking at we got to win this week, man. That's a simple message, man. We got to win. Doesn't matter who we're playing, we got to go in there and win.
Benton said on Sunday he took a break from football to clear his head. Mentally, where do you think this team is at right now?
I think it's a fragile team. I think it was a fragile team even before the firing of Paul Chryst, but I think even since then they've had a lot to deal with and a lot of upheaval and turnover and losses that they weren't expecting, and I think that's the biggest challenge right now for Jim Leonhard is getting this team together and getting this team on the same page and getting it moving forward, and when adversity strikes during games, getting it to react to it and respond accordingly.
With coaching changes comes players transferring. So far, the Badgers have had 4 enter the portal: Deacon Hill, Marcus Allen, and Stephon Bracey, along with Logan Brown, who was dismissed from the team. And since being named Wisconsin's interim head coach, figuring out who's in and who's out is just another thing Jim Leonhard has had to navigate this program through.
If you're a leader, lead, right? If you want to be a huge part of what we got going on here, but you're not a leader, grab on to somebody going the right direction, right? And if you're on the fence or out, let me know, please. Right? That's the fastest way to get things rallied and get things calmed down, is knowing who's on your side.
No doubt we'll see more enter the portal, but I think this message is needed. You have to figure out who's in with you to help you right the ship.
Yeah, I think the transfer portal is new to a lot of us, right? We're still dealing with the fact that players can leave within a season. I think it's important to look back at last season. There were a lot of transfers, and a lot of them came all at once. I don't think it's necessarily such a bad thing, because you get a lot of guys who are unhappy out of the locker room, and that can sometimes, turn the mood of the locker room. And I think that's what we saw last year, is this team got rid of some guys. It played well in the middle of the season, so we'll see how it reacts this time. I think now is when leadership is as important as ever.
It's another tough test for the Wisconsin defense. Why priority #1 for the Badger defensive backs: slow down Charlie Jones and the Boilermaker passing attack. More Badger Blueprint after the break. Offensively, Purdue is one of the best in the conference. Aiden O'Connell is averaging a Big Ten best 325 passing yards per game, while his go-to receiver, Charlie Jones, leads the league in catches and touchdowns. The Boilermakers are coming off a performance where they put up 43 points and gained over 600 yards. This is another tough test for a defense that's coming off a performance where they gave up big plays in the passing game. And Jim, airing it out is Purdue's bread and butter.
We talked about how Wisconsin doesn't have an identity. Well, Purdue does, and they know what their identity is. Great passing team, playing a little bit better on defense. This is a team that is probably the favorite in the Big Ten West, and I know Illinois has the edge right now, but I think Purdue is the most rounded team and that has the highest ceiling.
Wisconsin's won 15 straight over Purdue. They are favored again. Do they make it 16 straight, Jim?
I don't know why I'm picking Wisconsin, but I'm going to, 20-17. I just think this team is due for a bounce back. It's going to need the crowd, frankly, and it's going to need a good start early and for the crowd to stay in it, but I think they pull through.
Good quarterbacks and good receivers have made big plays against this defense, and it's going to happen again on Saturday. Boilermakers win 24-17. And that's it for this week's Badger Blueprint. Thanks for watching.